Senator, over the weekend, you reiterated your support for Donald Trump if you were to be the Republican nominee, a weekend in which we saw rising tensions at his events, violence, Trump himself saying he would consider paying legal fees for somebody who punched a protester. I understand that you will say that you made a promise to support the nominee and you will keep that promise, but at what point do events on the ground force you, or at least have you reconsider and maybe look at your position, given that your rivals have said now it would be extremely difficult to support Trump if you were the nominee?
Well, I can give you one example where I would no longer support Donald Trump. If, for example, he were to go out on Fifth Avenue and shoot somebody, I would not be willing to support Donald Trump. But I think the best answer to Donald Trump, to his failed liberal policies, to his being enmeshed in Washington corruption, supporting the policies that have caused so much damage, funding open border Democrats, funding the architects of Obamacare, all of which Donald has done. The answer is not to cry in your beer about the support Donald has received, and the answer is not to do what the Washington establishment hopes to do in their fevered dreams, which is they envision a brokered convention, where the convention deadlocks and suddenly in from Washington, the deal makers parachute in an establishment candidate who is their salvation. That is not going to happen, and it would spark an absolute revolt, quite rightly, from the voters. The way to beat Donald Trump is beat him at the ballot box, which is what we have been doing, and that is why our campaign, Republicans are uniting behind our campaign, because we are the only campaign that has beaten Donald Trump over and over and over again, and that can and will beat Donald Trump. Indeed, to date, we have beaten Donald Trump not once, not twice, not 3 times, but 9 different times all over the United States of America, literally from Alaska to Maine and states all in between. And as Republicans continue to unite, we will continue to beat Donald Trump. We will win the nomination with 1,237 delegates. And then we will go on to beat Hillary Clinton in the general election.
You're joking about Fifth Avenue, Senator, clearly, that Donald Trump, we presume, is not going to shoot somebody on Fifth Avenue, although he made those comments.
Well, he did suggest he might.
Right, but we've seen, you're making a joke, but we've seen violence at his rallies. I mean, we've seen tensions, and I just wonder, at what point do you really reconsider? And I'm pressing you on this because it's been an extraordinary 96 hours, I think, in this Republican race.
Hallie, it has, and I agree that that is a question that the voters are asking. At what point?
He's a front runner who is offering to potentially pay legal fees for somebody who
Hallie, I'll answer the question, but we're not going to debate. That is a question the voters are asking. At what point do we say enough is enough? If Donald Trump is the nominee, he is a disaster. And the answer is to beat him, which is what we are well, I know it is a shocking concept to members of the media, a shocking concept that an elected official actually does what he said. At the outset of this campaign, I committed I will support the Republican nominee, and I honor my word.
But
and honoring your word means you actually honor your word. You do what you said you would do. I know that that is revolutionary, and particularly when you've got a candidate like Donald Trump who changes his position on a given issue sometimes 2 or 3 times on the same debate stage. But with me, I'm very simple. When I tell you I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. Now, I don't want Donald Trump to be the Republican nominee. I think we elect Hillary Clinton and we destroy the country if Donald Trump is the nominee. And that is why we are working so hard to beat Donald Trump. And we're going to beat Donald Trump.